Joseph Parker versus Carlos Takam this weekend. Actually, tomorrow. 11 a.m. Start time on Sky Sports over here in the UK. Really looking forward to it. I was actually looking forward to the whole day. It would have been Joseph Parker versus Carlos Takam, and then in the afternoon, Povetkin Wilder, and FA Cup final, and then in the evening, I could have watched, the heyday card. But yeah, anyway, as I said, Joseph Parker versus Carlos Cam. I'm sure it'll be pay-per-view over in New Zealand. From what I've heard from my cousin actually, is Parker's a pay-per-view star in New Zealand. So I actually didn't know that. So he'll get some good money off it. Probably to Cam will get some decent money as well. Final eliminator for the IBF title. Winner becomes mandatory for Anthony Joshua or Dominic Brazil if he wins. But I can't see that. So let's say Anthony Joshua for the moment he holds the belt. And yeah, good fight. I'm not going to talk too much about it in depth, but because I've gone over this fight relatively recently in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, what I will say is many people are going back and forth. I'm not changing my mind on this. I think Joseph Parker's going to win a close decision. I wouldn't say close in terms of it's going to be a robbery or that sort of nature, but I'm going to say it's quite close 7-5, 8-4. I think Parker will get worked relatively hard, much harder than he was against Jason Bergman or Bowie Tupu, Cali Meehan, Sherman Williams, those sort of opponents, Jakub Sglam. And I think this is a complete step up, or almost, from C level to A level. And, I expect Joseph Parker to actually come out and box really well. I know Kevin Barry, he trains over in LA. The one criticism I would like to say on a side note is I think he should relocate full time to the States. I know he's pay-per-view over in New Zealand, but you can't stay there forever. In terms of boxing, it's not the biggest part an attraction in the world. So I like to see him move on to the States or come over here to the UK and see what he can do over here, make a splash in one or the other place. And yeah, I expect Cam to be really, really rugged, really solid, and I expect him to adapt a lot. We've seen what he's done in some of his previous fights. Tony Thompson, he kind of rushed him and didn't really let him be very awkward and very efficient with his work. Um, in the Povetkin fight, it was neck and neck. He did change styles, ever so slightly, and also I think in the Mike Perez fight as well. So he's been around the block. He's got a lot of experience, and I think that experience will hold him in good stead for most of the fight. I don't think he'll push him over the finish line, but I think he'll give Parker a lot more work than people expect. And for me, Takao is probably a top 15 operator for sure, and Parker's been fighting top 50, top 75 sort of people, and they're not at the level of Carlos Takam, and I think he may find it out early, and Parker may have to adapt his style if he tries to come in and brawl with Carlos Takam. And yeah, it sets up for a very, very intriguing fight. As I said, I think Parker should box from range, from the middle to long range, use his jab. He's in fantastic shape, and we know Carlos Takam. He's from what his shape and the recent pictures, he looks in fantastic shape as well. He looks in great shape, and he's going to come forward all night, most likely, and probably try and change it up and make it uncomfortable for Joseph Parker. Um, you never know. Takam might box as well, but I'd expect him to come forward and try and make the fight and try and be aggressive and try and force Parker on the back foot and keep him off the centre of the ring. Um, as I said, I'm going with Parker. Quite close decision. Not like a robbery decision or anything. I think he'll win at least seven out of the 5 round, 7 out of the 12 rounds. Sorry, and he could win sort of 7-5 or 8-4. That sort of ilk. And yeah, it will be interesting to see how he deals with someone like Carlos Takam. and if he can, if he can elevate his game and compete with the guys within the top 10, top 15. Um, Even someone maybe like Lucas Brown later on in the year, who's coming back from a ban, could be another potential opponent. He could get good money for the two as well. So there's a lot of fights out there for Parker after this. If he does win, but he needs to win and win, in some decent fashion. As I said, and Takam, I wouldn't be surprised if Takam wins. Don't get me wrong, but Takam should not be underestimated, as he is by many boxing analysts and many of the boxing public. So don't sleep on Carlos Takam. Let me know your thoughts on Joseph Parker versus Carlos Takam. How do you think? How do you think either will win? And the method of knockout, the method knockout or points or whatever. Please do let me know. I'm interested to hear you guys' opinion. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care and peace.